The Pure One, Khadijah bint Khuwaylid. On a gentle evening, Grandmother Nada sat in the garden, surrounded by her 3 grandchildren, Adam, Rowan, and Huda. The stars sparkled above them as if they, too, were waiting to hear the story. Rowan said excitedly, "Grandma, we want a story about a great woman from the Prophet's life." Grandmother Nada smiled and replied, "Very well. Today I will tell you about a woman like no other, the mother of the believers, Khadijah bint Khuwaylid. May Allah be pleased with her." The children sat attentively as she began her story. Grandmother said, "Khadijah was known for her honor and noble reputation. People called her the Pure. She was also a skilled merchant, and her caravans traveled between Mecca and the Levant." Yusuf raised his eyebrows and asked, "So she was a strong and successful woman?" Grandmother laughed softly. "Yes, my dear, and she was among the finest women of Quraysh." Adam asked, "Grandma, how did she meet the Prophet?" She answered, "She heard about his honesty and truthfulness, so she sent him to manage her trade. When he returned, he came back with profit, integrity, and noble character. She admired him for his manners, not his wealth. They later married, and their marriage was filled with love and loyalty." Grandmother leaned forward and continued, "When the revelation descended for the first time, the Prophet returned home trembling and afraid, saying, 'Cover me, cover me.' Huda asked with concern, 'What did Khadijah do?' Grandmother smiled. She held him gently and comforted him with words strong enough to steady mountains. She said, 'By Allah, he will never disgrace you.' Then she mentioned his noble qualities, his kindness, honesty, and support for the weak. She was the first to believe in him." Rowan said admiringly, "She was the Prophet's comfort when he was afraid." Grandmother nodded. "Yes, and she was the first to pray with him and the first to support the message with her wealth, her effort, and her heart." Yusuf asked, "Grandma, did the Prophet love her very much?" She nodded gently. "Very much indeed. It was a love full of loyalty. Even after her passing, he remembered her often and said beautiful things about her. He even treated her friends kindly out of respect for her memory." Huda asked shyly, "Was Lady Aisha jealous of Khadijah?" Grandmother chuckled. "Yes, she was. She loved the Prophet deeply, and although she never met Khadijah, she always heard him speak highly of her. This made her feel normal human jealousy." Adam asked, "Did the Prophet become upset?" Grandmother continued, "One day Aisha said, 'Why do you keep remembering Khadijah when Allah has given you someone better?' He replied, 'By Allah, he did not give me someone better. She believed in me when the people disbelieved, she supported me with her wealth, and Allah granted me children through her." Rowan whispered in amazement, "That is true loyalty." Grandmother said, "Yes, my dear, and it teaches us to never forget those who stood by us." Grandmother lowered her voice. "When Khadijah passed away, the Prophet grieved deeply. Historians call that year the year of sorrow. She was the closest to his heart and his companion during the hardest days of the message." Yusuf asked, "So he never forgot her?" Grandmother replied, "Never. Loyalty is one of the most beautiful qualities of the Prophet." Grandmother gathered the children closer and said, "From Khadijah we learn honesty, purity, courage, and loyalty. From Aisha we learn manners, knowledge, and love for the Prophet. And from the Prophet himself, we learn to be grateful and never forget kindness." She then smiled and asked, "So, who wants a new story tomorrow?" All 4 children shouted together, "We do, Grandma."